Hello, everybody out there. Have another happy Sunday run day video for you guys. Coming at you live from sunny Florida, and it is actually sunny today. Amazing. Sometimes in the spring it can be hit or miss. But happy Sunday, everybody. Before I kind of dived into today's video, I did want to do my kind of YouTube duties that I've been neglecting the past couple of videos. If you do like what you see here at our channel, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and you can hit that alert button for each time we post a new video. A lot of our videos have been a little bit shorter now, just because of both Tommy and my own lives right around now. It's kind of been really crazy and busy. We hope to get together again pretty soon for another video. One of those longer videos that we've kind of done for the most part, but coming at you in another few smaller videos here, including this one, where I'm going to get into a little bit more of one aspect of my training regimen. But yeah, so do that. Please like, subscribe. We love hearing feedback from you guys. The comments on my past couple of videos have been awesome, so thank you. I really appreciate that too. Definitely actually motivating me to keep going, so please, thank you for all the love out there. And hopefully we will be getting much more content up on the YouTube page pretty soon. And also there's always fun stuff going on the Twitter and Instagram on our pages there. So those can be found at Disney101 Pod, both on Instagram and Twitter, and of course here on YouTube as well. So we always thank you for your support. So that being said, gonna dive right into today's video. Today, it kind of might sound a little funny, but to me, one of the most important aspects of my training is my music, the music that I listen to. A lot of people will use their phones or, whatever, just stream Pandora. A lot of people will listen to podcasts and audiobooks and stuff like that. And kudos to you if you do that, but for me, I need something a little bit more motivating, a little bit more intense maybe even, especially when we take a look at some of the songs that I listen to. You could probably see why. But for me, music has always been a huge part of my life, and a lot of different aspects and, different music has gotten me through different things. And I also really enjoy making playlists and making compilations and stuff. I've made a few for my wife that have been really weird themes, and she's had to figure it out. I did one that was colors, so all of the bands were all color coded, so it was Red Hot Chili Peppers and Green Day and Black Sabbath and the White Stripes and Yellow Card and that kind of thing. I did one where it was food, so it was Red Hot Chili Peppers again, because they're so versatile, aren't they? And Meatloaf and the Cranberries and a bunch of other, really, I think I stretched a few out there because I had to apply some condiments and stuff. But it was kind of fun. I think Cream was on there too, but so I like to have fun with it. And I really liked making, running playlists, and I have kind of a running playlist and then also a general exercise playlist. And the exercise playlist, it's a little bit different, especially when I'm doing weight training and stuff. That is just a lot of really angry music. So it's a lot of Pantera and Slipknot and, heavy metal and gangster rap and stuff. I don't know, I just feel like that's what motivates me when I'm doing that. But what motivates me when I'm running, a lot of times it's things that have a very steady beat, something especially that you can keep pace with. So one of the best songs that I've heard to run to is We Are the Champions, because it has a very steady pace, and also We Will Rock You, just because also steady pace, something that you can pace yourself to. And I personally would go with We Will Rock You more because of the actual song itself. So that's kind of what I have set up here. So I'll give you a kind of a rundown, no pun intended, or I guess pun was intended, right? But a little rundown of what I kind of go through. And this is actually pretty much my hour set, when I'm going for an hour-long run. I try and make that around my 10K. My 10K time, usually I try and make around an hour. So this more part, it's kind of tight. It's a very tight, more or less 60 minutes, actually. There are a couple of warm-up songs that I do here. So first, my two warm-up songs are Run This Town by Jay-Z featuring Rihanna and Kanye West. It's to me, it's like a very good build up. It's got a really good build up, and I anything having to do with running, even though it's a different kind of running, it can still get you motivated, right? My next motivational, get you pumped song is "Forever" by Drake, again featuring Kanye West and Lil Wayne and Eminem. You're gonna find a lot of Eminem on this playlist. Next up is "Hallelujah" by Panic at the Disco. For me, it's a very, it's all of Panic at the Disco's recent songs, recent popular songs. Have really been high, it's been High Hopes 2 is on here too. I think a little bit later down. To me, they're just really, they're inspiring, and they're very, not like the older Panic at the Disco stuff, which are, it's a little bit more emo and a little bit more, adolescent, where the later stuff a little bit more inspirational, a little bit more higher energy, I guess you could say. So Hallelujah is a great way to start personally. And then I go into a little bit of show tunes here with The Other Side, which is part of the Greatest Showman soundtrack with Hugh Jackman and Zac Efron, and it's a good one to kind of go back and forth. There's a little bit of talking and there's a little bit of singing, so you can kind of switch back and off, especially if you're pacing yourself. You can kind of walk during the talking parts and run during the actual singing part, and it's a really good switch off. Next up is Survival by Eminem. I have a lot of Eminem on here. About half of this playlist is Eminem, so sorry in advance if you're not an Eminem fan, but you should be, especially when you're training. He has a lot of inspirational songs and kind of light a fire underneath you songs. So actually I have two back-to-back: Survival by Eminem and then Lose Yourself from the 8 Mile soundtrack. To both, especially Lose Yourself, especially even at the beginning, at the build-up, it's got that very steady rhythm that you could kind of set yourself to and just let loose. Next up is The Greatest Show. That's the actual song from the Greatest Showman soundtrack, and it's Hugh Jackman, Keela Settle, Zac Efron, Zendaya, the whole kind of, the whole big group, the ensemble song. So it's something that I really like, and it's really motivational. Again, there's a couple of pieces in there about running and, that kind of thing. So always a little bit of a reference I'm okay with. Next up is Dashboard by Modest Mouse. Now that might seem a little bit weird, especially when you take the whole thing and when you take the whole picture here. But there's something about the song that I really love, and I think it's one of those things where when you're listening to a song that you know by heart, it's easier to zone out. And it's just, you can either sing along as you're running, or it's got a good beat, and it's a great song. I personally love it. Modest Mouse, I feel, is maybe an acquired taste, but a lot of this is rap and alt rock apparently, which leads me into my next song, which is I love Fall Out Boy because I love saying their song titles. So this is actually a relatively new Fall Out Boy song. It's Stay Frosty Royal Milk Tea. I have no idea what that title means, because it's a Fall Out Boy song, so I don't really think it has anything to do with anything. But I love the song. It has a great driving beat, really. Again, it's actually not even probably that inspirational. You really don't need to know the words to that song. It's just got a great beat, and you have Patrick Stump yelling at you. So what more do you need? After that, speaking of yelling, and again, two back-to-back Eminem songs. First one is Won't Back Down, and that's Eminem featuring Pink. And that's all you really need to know. Won't Back Down. It's right there in the title. And that, we're kind of getting to that halfway point where you might start to get kind of winded, and, where you kind of need that extra little kick to keep going. So that's what that song is there for. And then afterwards is Venom. So that's actually the song that Eminem did for the movie Venom, which also, yes, Eminem is kind of a controversial figure, especially if you want songs with, not the kind of imagery that he portrays in a lot of his songs. But say what you will about the man, he knows how to fire you up, and he knows how to get someone, hyped. And again, great driving beat. Uh, Great lyrics for someone that wants to get motivated and, kind of wants to get like, pumped up. Then after that, switching gears a little bit, is a song called Halfway There by Rise Against. And this is actually pretty much right at that 30-minute mark, that halfway point if you're on an hour-long run, where, and it's basically, the whole song is, pretty much when enough is enough and you can't take anymore, that's when you're halfway there. And that's a great feeling, and it's how you feel a lot during a race, especially a long race like this. You're like, when is this going to end? Oh, look, I'm halfway done with it. Well, now that means that everything is downhill from here, which is probably another good song I could have put on here, but that's besides the point. But yeah, so Halfway There by Rise Against, it's a good song. It's not just only a good song, but it's a good song to kind of fit the theme here. And had I not taken this a little bit more seriously, there's tons of songs that I would put on here as a joke, or not even just a joke, as, kind of like to kind of humor myself, because, it's my playlist, so I can kind of do that. There are other songs that are kind of honorable mentions that I might add towards the end, but, we're halfway there with Rise Against. And then after that, we go right back into Eminem again, Cinderella Man, which again, Cinderella Man, it's one of those just great kick in the pants songs that it's just to get you fired up and to get you to that second half and to get kind of that downhill running, especially if you're going to be doing a negative split where you've had a little bit in the tank and you've kind of reserved that little bit. Now is the time to kind of try and fire those afterburners so you can kind of get that going. After that, like I alluded to, is High Hopes by Panic at the Disco. You gotta have high hopes, right? So again, upbeat, inspirational song, great lyrics, great song. Love to include more Panic at the Disco, but it's just some of it isn't. Some of it is either too slow or too fast. You don't want something that's gonna be to really like get you going. So that's why I could have put a lot of like speed metal and a lot of like really fast like dubstep and stuff like that. And I do listen to that sometimes when I'm generally when I'm just working out or doing some other sort of exercise. If I need, I'll put on some like Skrillex, or I got a few Modest Mouse on my iPod that I listen to. Not Modest Mouse, Dead Mouse, different mouse. That kind of thing. And that's more of just like general stuff that I can listen to and still kind of keep me in the same mood. But if we're talking the go-to songs for me, that's definitely on there. And then right after that is Remember the Name by Fort Minor, probably. And now we're getting to really like my absolute probably top 5 most inspirational songs. And Remember the Name is just one of those songs that you always see when, they're doing one of those like highlight clips for, basketball or whatever. And it's just a complete 100% from start to finish hype song. So I love it. The next couple are ones that you kind of have to fast forward through the first minute or so, which I'm usually okay with. The first one is From Now On. Again, The Greatest Showman soundtrack, which, considering all of the other rap and, alt-rock songs and everything like that on here, it's kind of a interesting change of pace. But, again, when Hugh Jackman starts, there's a little bit of that build-up, but then when the music actually starts to kick in, I always get shivers down my spine no matter what I'm doing. So to get that, it's a very different emotion and that, that drive. And you need something this is, last 4 or 5 songs here. So this is the last 15 minutes or so of your run. And when you get to that point, you're saying, I got nothing left. And there's Hugh Jackman saying, I know you got nothing left, but you're going home. This is it. Just give it all you got. And the next 3 kind of going down there again. We got My Chemical Romance with Welcome to the Black Parade. Again, a little bit of a build-up, and even with that little bit of a build-up, that can be, you're going to walk. I'm going to take that minute or so of breathing time. I just ran my heart out with Hugh Jackman a little while ago, so I'm going to take this minute or so, or, it's about a minute or so, get hyped, and then once the music really starts after the guitar and everything, it's just all out from there for me. And I have crossed the finish line so many times, either to the Welcome to the Black Parade, or just it's gotten that home stretch, and that just you know. The next two, last Eminem song, because there's only 2 songs left, but the last one is Till I Collapse. And again, you can't get much better than Until My Legs Give Out. I'm gonna keep going. And that's literally how you feel at the end of the run, where you feel like your legs are probably about to get out, but you're gonna keep going. You're gonna keep going until you collapse. Now, I'm going to say this as a disclaimer: if you really feel like you're about to collapse, please don't keep running. That's my PSA. But that being said, if you feel like you're going to, please just stop running. Your time isn't worth you hurting yourself. But if you don't, then you're going to keep going, right? Which is how I always push myself, probably harder than I should anyway, and that's why I kind of say that. Please don't make the same mistakes I do. But that being said, I'm going to probably run until my legs fall off. And again, my last song, considering half of this is Eminem, and then you have 3 show tunes basically from a musical. This may or may not come as a surprise, but the last song is probably my favorite song on this playlist. And of course, you got to save the best for last in this. And it's I'll Make a Man Out of You by Mulan, from Mulan. Yep, Donny Osmond. And the reason why I love that song is just everything about it. It's literally, half of it is calling you out, saying you're nothing, be a man up. And, there's a whole lot of misogynistic undertones and a lot of, toxic masculinity that you could probably read into if you wanted to. That's kind of what Mulan is, a lot of it, if you really look at it. But at the end of the day, it's a song of be a man, you gotta be strong, you gotta be tough, all that stuff. So it is the best song to go and give your all, and especially that last, minute or so, whatever it is. And it's just that once the music actually cuts and it's just them singing, that's when I just go all out. And you gotta, if I haven't crossed the finish line already, usually I kind of time it and kind of know when I'm about to cross the finish line, if it's an actual race, or when I'm just out running by myself, it's a little bit harder. But I can definitely say I always give my all, and I always run flat out whenever I have this song on. So yeah, that's my all. That's kind of my top 15, 16, however many songs that is. You got some honorable mentions, of course. I Can Go the Distance, another Disney movie, Hercules. I wish it was a little bit heavier. I wish it was a little bit faster, maybe. I really love the song. Hercules is one of my favorite movies, and I Can Go the Distance is one of my favorite songs. But it's just, for a running song, I can't get underneath it. It's a great inspirational song, absolutely. Same thing with How Far I'll Go by from Moana. Great running, great inspirational song. Great song if it was a little bit faster or a little bit heavier for me personally. Which is why I love, there's a part in the new Happily Ever After fireworks show at the Magic Kingdom, and it's towards the end. It's maybe like the last 2/3, last 3/4, or whatever it is, and there's a part with I Can Go the Distance in the background with Mufasa coming in saying, "Remember who you are." And if I could get that one clip and just play that over and over again, I could probably finish the marathon in about 30 minutes. But it'd be really hard to do that without a lot of different sound editing, which I'm not very good at. But that being said, I would, if I Can Go the Distance, if I could find maybe a harder or a faster cover, I would totally throw that up there. Have a few other songs, but those are my go-to running songs, and actually in that order, because you got your hype up songs, your get ready, your get amped, your halfway there, and then the rest of that downhill is the most inspirational songs. And when fitting with the feeling that you're going to have when you have almost nothing left in the tank, and Welcome to the Black Parade comes on. No matter what I'm doing, when I'm listening to Welcome to the Black Parade now, I've conditioned myself to want to run, regardless of if I'm in my car or whatever it is. Same thing with when it's with I'll Make a Man Out of You. If I'm at home and Mulan is on and I hear that song, I have trained myself to want to just run with that song on. Which I guess is a good thing, right? Especially if they're, the last couple of songs on my playlist. But that is it for me. So please tell me what you think. I'm sure it's very interesting. It's very eclectic. So let me know what you think. Let me know what if any of those songs are on your running playlist or what your favorite songs are too. Please let me know down in the comments or give us a shout out on Twitter, Instagram. So please let us know. And I think that's going to be it for me. So as always, we'll see you real soon. Have a magical week, everyone.